Gary, you smell that? Yeah. Chicken? No, Bob. Trouble. Same thing. Bob said, Gary, hold up now. I smell something down the street. Gary said, I know that look, and trouble's got you on your feet. Bob said, there's a garbage can and the lid is barely shut. Gary said, whenever you say treasure, somebody's gonna get hurt. Bob jumped up and hit the lid. Gary said, I knew you would. Bob said, there's gotta be a chicken bone. Gary said, yeah, and maybe a neighborhood dog. Two cats and a garbage can, making trouble the best they can. One goes in and one stands guard. Then something jumps out and hits them hard. Down the alley, tails held high, running like they're gonna fly. Two cats and a garbage can, and a skunk who wasn't in the plan. Bob yelled, Gary, I found gold. Gary said, that ain't gold, it's old. Bob said, well, it smells like chicken. Gary said, Bob, everything smells like chicken. Bob pulled out an old work shoe. Gary said, what are you gonna do? Bob said, I thought I'd found a feast. Gary said, you just found somebody's left. Then that garbage can went rolling down the sidewalk with a crash, and underneath the moonlight stood a skunk with quite a splash. He raised his tail, they froze in place. Gary whispered, don't you move. Bob said, why? Gary said, because I think that thing knows what it's gonna do. Two cats and a garbage can, making trouble the best they can. Bob went left and Gary went right, both of them running for their lives tonight. Up the fence post, claws dug in, Gary yelling, don't let him win. Two cats and a garbage can, and a skunk who wasn't in the plan. They climbed that old fence post and sat there in the breeze. Bob said, I think he likes us. Gary said, I think he hates me. Bob said, maybe we should chase him. Gary said, that's a terrible idea. Bob said, I think he's gone. Gary said, good. Bob said, let's go check. Gary said, Bob? Bob said, yeah? Gary said, sometimes I wonder how we made it this far. Bob looked over at Gary and said, was that your idea? Gary held his nose and said, no, but I'm blaming you. Bob said, you always blame me. Gary said, because it's usually you. They waited on that rooftop till the smell began to fade. Bob said, think we ought to go back. Gary said, I think we've got it made. The moon was getting lower, the morning coming through. Bob said, same time tomorrow. Gary said, sure, why not? Then Bob looked down the alley and spotted something by the fence. He said, Gary, I think that's chicken. Gary said, Bob, don't even think about it. Two cats and a garbage can, that's how another night began. They chase some mouse, they chase a dog, they chase just about anything that walks. They got 9 lives and no good sense. They got claws and confidence. Two cats, one neighborhood, getting into trouble like they knew they would. Two cats and a garbage can, best friends doing what they can. Bob says, let's, and Gary says, no, but somehow Gary always goes. Two cats and a garbage can, another crazy night begins. And somewhere underneath the moon, that skunk is waiting for them. Gary, what? You smell that? No, smells like chicken.